Make it.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Happy December. Remember the game that we used to play where you'd have to... Well, this is a version of the game where one person sings a song.
Well, I was just waiting for you to keep singing, and I was going to go.
Well, okay, we can play the game. We can play the game. It's a really fun game where one person sings a song and the other one has to keep up with the words.
I thought you were going to say sing along. It would have rhymed.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was too focused on singing the song.
Did pretty good, though.
It is a fun game, though. For anybody at home that wants to play the game, one person makes up a song on the spot and the other person tries to follow.
I can do it again.
Or if you're a bad singer like I am, another way that you can do it is I would give you a song that is just recorded already that maybe you hadn't heard before that you have to sing along to. That's more in the car. That's a fun game to try.
I don't know that one.
We'll play sometime. It's the same idea, except I would play, just a song that you didn't know that you had to then sing along to.
It's way better to make it up on the spot.
It is way better to make it up. Yeah. So anyway, what other games do we have on the go?
Christmas tree decorating.
Are we going to make a game out of that?
Well, it is a game. It's a game of decorating the tree.
We have a box of ornaments that on the front of it in thick black writing says blue balls that my grandmother wrote. Yeah. And it's a box of blue balls that we decorate our Christmas tree with every year. Yeah. So that's a little tradition.
Yeah. We have Matt Minglewood to put on top of the tree.
Yeah, like a figurine. We had him for the star last year, didn't we?
Yeah, we have the image of Matt Minglewood to put on as the star.
It's just a printed out piece of paper, right?
Yeah.
I remember last year you put it on as a joke, and then we decided, no, we will absolutely keep this as our star.
You have to have that every year.
Yeah. Do you remember when we had the Boxing Day party and we put your boxing gloves on the tree? It looked like the tree was boxing. That was our old house on Barrington. That was like 10 or more than 10 years now, 13 years ago.
That was fun.
Anywho, what else is going on? How was your week?
Pretty good. Went to a few different markets. Got, actually I can't say what we got because some of it's Christmas presents. Got some awesome stuff from a bunch of local vendors who have no idea how much to sell their stuff for.
Yeah, we got some good scores, that's for sure. Yeah.
Like things that should be $30 for 10.
Mm-hmm.
Things that should be $180 for 80.
Some things are just for pleasure for people, I think. Yeah. They're just covering the cost of their materials and getting out and socializing.
You just got to go to the rural markets.
Yeah, they're way better anyways.
Yeah.
Holiday shopping was actually more fun this year. Like, I am one of those people, admittedly, that struggles a little bit with Christmas. Like, I'm just not
Grinch
into it. I'm not a Grinch. There's a lot of people that feel this way this time of year. Yeah. Like, it's just a lot. But I have more time this December, which is nice. And shopping at these local markets has been way more pleasant than
it's great
scrambling to try to just find something.
Support local businesses and people directly. Like you're supporting Mary.
Yeah.
When you buy the secret item we bought 8 off. We went to her house yesterday to get 4 more.
Yeah, well.
Her name wasn't Mary. Her name was Kim, but Mary, I'm sure one of the people we bought things from was named Mary.
Yeah, well, maybe. We bought some things from Amy Nemeth.
Yeah.
She's a nice local artist, and a few of them we knew. Welcome to Make It with Mike and Kristen.
Where creative people talk about what they make and what making it means to them.
Good flex.
Yeah.
Yes.
I knew it wasn't coming, so I gave you the bicep.
That was our reminder thing.
Yeah.
When you edit the intro, will we see your flex?
If I cut to it.
Okay, we probably should show off those biceps you've been working on.
Yeah, they look good in the plaid.
They do look good.
I've been doing some curls lately.
Yeah.
Well, the only exercises are push-ups and curls, right?
And squats.
No.
Unless you want to grow your chest, do
But
you?
in growing up, it was bench press and curls. No one else knew another exercise other than those.
Yeah.
Like, that was all you could do.
Those are good basics.
Bench press, curls, and just go for a jog.
Mm-hmm. All important.
It's pretty fancy. The stuff people do now.
Moving your body at all, especially outside this time of year, is, you've done well.
Just had a walk in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Just about 9 kilometers. It's a beautiful day out there.
I did my walk the other day on the -24 day with my friend Christine.
You're tough as nails.
I felt I was pretty well freezing from the bones out for the rest of the day. But she has a hot tub, so we're going to go in that next time we do our walk.
Lucky you guys.
I know. It's nice to have a friend around the corner with a hot tub.
I've been doing my cold showers every day and probably once a week go to the ocean for a dip. Still wish we had a ocean in our backyard someday.
What happened to your your little pool thing that you had?
Well, it works great up until when it gets too cold and then it just turns to a block of ice.
Yeah.
So it was just too hard to keep it going, and it did get a leak. The little outdoor tub. You can get like expensive ones that would work, but they're not ready for Canadian winters.
Yeah.
Like there are people in California who put a bunch of ice in a tub and like, oh, I'm doing a cold dip. But in Canada, it's like just becomes a solid block of ice in 3 days.
Why don't you just walk outside in the nude or something?
I do that at night sometimes.
Okay.
I'll go sit in the backyard when it's got to be pretty cold though, like -20 or so.
Yeah, well, it's coming.
I've done it before. I don't turn the lights on so no one can see.
That's the beauty of having your own home and property, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, another good friend that lives just around the corner from us is Bridget O'Donnell, who happens to be this week's guest.
Yeah.
And we're very, very lucky to have her in the studio and just to know her. She's one of those people you just feel lucky to know.
Well, we had the episode a few weeks back talking about, what is our podcast doing for people? Who's it reaching? Is it reaching anyone? Like, are people having takeaways from it? Like, what are those takeaways? Because it's impossible for us to quantify that and to know what people are getting out of it. And we heard from a lot of people, like, great responses that really showcase that it is doing what we wanted to do. But Bridget wrote the longest email in the history of time. I got to do a word count on it. And detailed every single thing from every episode we've ever released, basically, that she's gotten out of this. And it was just so thoughtful, so generous of her to take the time to send that. And this became kind of a catalyst for getting her onto the podcast because we wanted to talk about that, and rather than respond in an email, like, come on, let's chat. And not that that's the sole focus of the conversation with her. Like, she's an amazing artist, painter, writer, singer, becoming a songwriter,
poet.
So having her on to talk about that was the big thing. But yeah, just kind of diving into what she sent us in that email and what really gave us a little, I don't know, boost when we needed one.
Yeah. Bridget would have found herself on the show anyways because of her talent and kindness, and she played on stage with you the last week of Togetherland with the Town Heroes and has been to every open mic. She's the most supportive human being you could possibly have in your life. Like we've just been lucky to know her. the timing, I guess, as to why we invited her now was because we received this beautiful email that I think gave us both perspective about our why in the show and some of our priorities. But I loved how in this email, she also outlined all of these individual episodes and talked about how she's connected with those guests. These are the types of things that we had talked about a couple of weeks ago that we don't know what happens.
Yeah.
Like, do the guests benefit? I don't know. And she's bought art from people that we've had on. She's been to concerts from some of our guests. She follows all these people on social media and has really made a point to adopt some of the advice that people have talked about. And it was just so enriching to hear this from someone. And not only that, but to put the effort into going back and revisiting all of that herself. It kind of took us down memory lane as well.
Yeah. Yeah, she allowed us to reminisce and think about all these people we had on and what we learned from them. And like, yeah, I guess we have had some amazing people on who have given us words of wisdom and advice that we follow ourselves, and to know that it is reaching a wider audience is just the icing on the cake. Like, first and foremost, we're doing it a little bit selfishly, we get to meet these amazing people and we get to learn from them ourselves, but then we get to share those conversations with the wider world at large, and people can have their own takeaways from that.
Well, it certainly felt like reciprocated energy to have her come to us in that way. And it really made us feel special. And we're so grateful that she bothered. I think it really, in that episode, we encouraged our listeners to reach out to some of their favorite artists, which is what she did with us. We weren't expecting it necessarily to be us, but if anybody was the recipient of that kindness, I think they too can understand and relate to how important it is to hear that sometimes.
Yeah. And George is a fan of Bridget too. He just wanted to come in and mention that himself.
Yeah, that's very sweet.
There's George, everybody who's watching. If you're listening, he's on my lap and very cute.
Very cute. Well, that was very sweet of him to want to say hello and to say thank you to Bridget too.
But let's jump into the chat with her and go get decorating on our tree. Get that tree all dialed in for Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks everybody.
Get the blue balls up. And here's Bridget O'Donnell, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo.
Listeners around the world. Hope you're doing good out there, folks. Make it.
Yeah, because when I think elbow grease, I think of cleaning.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, nobody was going to be cleaning with their elbows. So that's not it. But maybe it's you're cleaning and you get grease on your elbows.
Maybe.
I don't know. Grease seems to be an old-fashioned cleaning thing. My grandmother used to put goose grease in our ears if we had earaches.
The hell is goose grease?
What is that exactly? What is goose grease? My brother and I still die laughing about it today. Like, if anybody has any ailment, like, I'll get the goose grease out, because does that even exist? What, I don't know, like duck fat maybe would be the next.
I'm so curious.
Yeah. And what does this have to do with ear infections?
Right.
Like animal fat. Let's pour this into your ear and
did it work?
This will heal you. I don't think so. Another thing, I don't know why this is coming up. This is probably why I've gone deaf, by the way. Another thing my mother used to do. I did get a lot of ear infections as a kid. And my mother read, this is so 80s, that because my dad smoked a pipe, she read if you blew the smoke from a cigarette or a pipe in the ear, the heat of the smoke would soften the wax, and that could help. So here I am, 6 years old in my mom's bed, and she would light up my dad's pipe, like didn't smoke at all, and be hacking and then blowing this in my ear. So I've got goose grease and pipe tobacco now, and this is supposed to somehow, heal me.
It did a good job on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we know.
Yeah. I've never shared these details with my doctors, by the way. So
if there's any doctors or naturopaths out there listening, let us know the effectiveness of goose grease and pipe tobacco smoke in a person's ear.
Yeah, I'm dying to know now.
I've never shared that story before for good reason. But
What was the diet? I think it was like grapefruit and wine, maybe. Do you know that one?
there were a lot of strange diets in the 80s.
Grapefruit in the morning, then like a glass of wine,
Yeah.
and like another grapefruit.
That was probably more
It's like
50s housewife, I think.
A lot of wine and grapefruit.
Yeah. It's probably just an excuse
doesn't
for women
sound
to
so
drink
bad.
wine. Yeah, I could get on board with that diet.
It'd just be, well, for me, I would have acid reflux like all day. Like the two worst things for GERD.
But wait, do you guys have any weird home remedies that happen in your family, or is this just a strange valley thing? I was hoping maybe you'd chime in with, oh, well, my grandfather, but that didn't happen, I've noticed. So I just wanted to check.
I was just like, wow, I've never heard of anything.
You guys
like
were
that.
aspirin and Band-Aid families, huh?
Well, my mom was a nurse, so she knew like the textbook stuff that would have been taught, I guess. So we were pretty up to date on what was happening in that world. We had a mag boy. I have it here somewhere. It's this little thing with two magnetic balls, and Dad had like arthritis and had to get artificial hips when he was like quite young.
Yeah.
And so he had a lot of pain in his body, and a local guy was selling these things called a magnet boy, I guess is short for. And you like rub it on back and forth on a sore spot, and the healing properties of the two magnetic balls spinning together creates some type of force that heals you, I guess.
Okay.
And that was, so we just said anything that went wrong, like just get the mag boy on it.
Yeah.
Like,
They have the magnet bracelets too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I remember my sister had a bracelet that helped with like car sickness. It was like it would put pressure on a certain part of her wrist.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Sit in the front seat.
Yeah.
What about you as a parent? What are your go-to
home
remedies? Do you have any
aside from
homeopathic
goose grease?
things?
Well,
That's
growing
obvious.
up, we did have like, I'd say the biggest thing was like redoxin. It's like vitamin C tablets that just dissolve in water. And I just thought it was pretty and cool to watch it dissolve, right? And then it tastes like orange, so not so bad. And then we do hot, like honey lemon tea, just literally honey, lemon, hot water.
Yeah.
Hot toddies.
Whiskey,
Hot toddies.
yeah.
So that's what I do. I like to make a good hot toddy.
What is the official liquor that's in a hot toddy? Because I know different recipes have a different types.
Yeah, I've heard of them with rum and whiskey
Yeah.
for the most part. I usually use whiskey, but
Those would
Usually
be my
whatever
guesses
we
too,
have.
rum or whiskey.
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's like the Moscow Mule and the Mexican Mule, where the
Maybe.
recipe's the same other than the shot of booze that you use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as long as it's hot and there's lemon and some type of booze.
Yeah.
Definitely helps.
Yeah. That
I
feels
think.
like it would heal quite a few things.
At least take some of the symptoms away so you can.
Yeah.
You hear
Rest it off.
of babies who the mother would dip the bottle in like whiskey or something, and that was a thing that happened at one point.
If I was a parent, my kid would be getting that.
Just chill out a little.
Just chill a little bit here.
Give it a little shake. I think that's what you're supposed to do. Quiet down.
We don't do a lot of editing in this show, but this might be our day. Well, welcome, Bridget.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Happy
for
to be
putting up
here.
with our shenanigans.
This
to
is what
kick
I'm
things
here
off.
for.
I know. Well, we've hung out so many times. This is kind of what we would just be talking about anyways.
Exactly.
Chances are. So
The random conversations are always fun.
So 2 episodes ago, we chatted a lot about where we were at with the podcast and what we were experiencing, and just kind of trying to find our place in the podcast realm and our creative realm, and what makes sense for us, and if audience members are what they're getting out of our podcast. And you wrote us I don't know, it must have been like 10,000 words. I don't think I've ever seen a bigger email.
She sent it through Dropbox.
Yeah. But it was the most thoughtful and comprehensive message I think I've ever received in my life.
Wow.
And you said so much in there that the second we read it, we're like, well, let's just have Bridget on.
It felt like the only real way to respond to what you had shared. I read your email first, and Mike came inside. I don't know what you were doing. And I said, Bridget sent us an email that's going to change your life.
Wow.
And he's like, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, just read it and you'll know exactly what I mean. And he did.
So it took the day to read it.
Yeah. That night it took forever. It just, I mean, there's so much to talk about and so much to kind of unravel with the letter. I first want to say that you're someone who is very much deserving to be here without having said these things to us. But it also felt like the right timing and also such a powerful conversation to have with you in the impact that sometimes just telling people what you're thinking and what you're feeling can have. And that's exactly what it did for us. So thank you.
Oh, that's so awesome. You're so welcome.
We essentially put
my hope.
Call out, not a call, but we just told people like, yeah, support the musicians you really like. Send them a message on Instagram. Write your favorite author, just because these things can go a long way. And I think... and you have to tell us, but I think you reaching out to us was you doing that in a way.
Mm-hmm. I understood the assignment.
we weren't looking for people to send it to us necessarily. We did get a lot of amazing feedback, and yes, this message was just so thoughtful and encapsulated just an entire. The entire run of our podcast from episode 1 up until now, you basically reference things that happened throughout it. Like, oh yeah, I forgot about this, and this is like this is something that happened 2 years ago. But you got value out of that episode. You reached out to that artist themselves, and you bought artwork from that person or whatever it may be. But yeah, you sending us that message was. Very meaningful, and we appreciate that so much.
I'm really glad it helped so much, because it honestly, looking back through your podcast, because, okay, let me back up here. When I first heard that episode a couple weeks ago, I immediately was like, okay, I need to tell them how I feel about the podcast, first of all, because I just knew how much it has changed my life. But not until I went back through all of the, like, I just kind of scrolled through, what is it, Apple Podcasts. Yeah. Went back to episode 1 and just kind of reflected on the podcast. And
you did research.
I did research to send the email. Yeah, it was like two weeks of definitely thinking about it a lot and just really realizing myself, like, I didn't realize how much my life had changed until I started really thinking about it. And then, I just knew I had to let you know, because it's hard to explain, which is why the email was so long. I wrote it on my phone in my notes app for over the 2 weeks, and I was listening to the podcast and just kind of trying to touch on the points that you brought up a couple weeks ago, and then just started tying in all of these memories of what's happened over the last couple of years, and slowly started putting all of that into an email. And by the end of it, I was just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling on my phone. I should open it up on a computer just to see, like,
let's get a word
how
count
big
on
it is. But I knew it would be quite the read. So I tried to warn you at the beginning, like, buckle up for this. This is gonna be a lot.
That was part of the impact. I don't think I've ever thought of an email as a work of art before, but I definitely see art as something that can have some type of emotional response or intention, however we might receive or interpret that. I read this email, and after it was in an instant, I think some of the insecurities we were grappling with just kind of vanished. And like the power in that was just so profound to me, not only personally and, what we've been going through, but to realize how quickly somebody's life can change if someone bothers to put that effort in on their behalf. It's almost like advocacy work, and you weren't looking for anything in return, or nobody else was going to see this other than us. I mean, we're talking about it very publicly now, but this is all of that to say, like this call out that we put, and I don't know whom else may have been contacted, like other than us, but it just resonated so profoundly that we felt like, well, the only way that we can really show that gratitude is to sit with you and have this conversation. Because I wouldn't be able to type back, toe to toe what you had to offer. And so I don't know, is this something that you have done before, or that you've kind of honed in your craft of writing an email? Because who knew it was so artful?
Yeah, it's really interesting to hear you say that, because I haven't thought of it as being artistic, really. I think maybe to an extent, but it is something I've taken pride in over the years, is writing a good email. I like to write letters too, but it's not so current. I do still. I have one friend. We try to send letters back and forth. But I dropped the ball on that like last year sometimes. So now I have one I've got to send to her. But yeah, emails, I email every day for work so much. And most of them are very short, especially in comparison to that. But no matter the length of the email, I always am very careful about what I say. And I reread it every single time, even if it's like a template I have to use for work. I just make sure, did I actually address the person by their name? And yeah, I just think those things matter. And then at work as well, sometimes like larger issues come up, and I've used email to kind of lay out just like how people are feeling, or, what a good way forward would be. Try to organize my own thoughts that way. And then I usually find in doing that, I realize how helpful whatever I've created is. And then I put it into an email and send it to my colleagues, because yeah, it just seems to help things. And when you throw in just a kind word for someone, even if it's just, like, you guys are doing a great job, I try to say that to my team as much as I can. And I do see a difference in the workplace when people address each other that way. So not everybody writes emails like that, but
that's just who you are. You're a kind, caring, compassionate person. And that comes across in everything you do. So I'm not surprised that comes across in how you email people. That's just the essence of you. Like when we first met you, like that's what radiates from you, and that's what the world sees. So yeah, it makes sense.
Is it like a different approach for you if you're writing to someone versus, say, writing in a journal? Like, does that feel like a different experience?
Yeah, a little bit, especially over the past couple of years since doing the artist's way. I think it used to be similar the way I would do it, because I've always like edited what I've written, and that's very much how I do emails. Like I'll write something and then reread it, change the way I'm wording something. And I did that in my journals for a while. I would write and really like try to think of how I was writing word for word, and sometimes scratching things out and rewriting what I had just written. But in doing the artist's way and learning about just writing like your stream of consciousness, that was a really foreign idea to me at first. Like I would try it and notice I was self-editing as I went. And still, some days it's easier than others. But now, yeah, when I journal, I mostly just try to write what I'm thinking. And sometimes I catch myself, rewriting. I'm like, oh no, I can't. I gotta just keep writing my stream of thought.
Your creativity has really blossomed in the last couple of years, and I know you've been a creative person your whole life, playing piano, singing, the drumming, writing. But it seems like in the last 3-ish years, you really started to go down that path and are putting stuff out to the world. How did that happen?
So first, I truly think the catalyst of all of that was finding your podcast.
Yeah.
We swear this wasn't a
I'm
planned
not trying
question.
not trying to plug it.
Hell yeah.
Get my notes out.
So I was lucky enough to move to this area and started seeing things in our subdivision Facebook group. Sometimes, Kristen, you would be sharing something about your art or about the town heroes. I would see things. And then I realized, oh my gosh, like these two are together. Like I kind of learned of you separately and then realized you were together, which just I thought was, even cooler. And then I think I purchased a Mother's Day mini from you, or a couple of them that first year. So that was kind of my first introduction to you as an artist. And then started following your pages and had seen you were doing the podcast and hadn't really been into podcasts yet. I hadn't listened to them before. I'd always listening to music in the car. And then I saw you released the episode with Matt Mays.
Yeah.
And when my wife and I got together, we really bonded over our love of Matt Mays and his music, and we'd go to his shows. And I thought, I should have a listen. And I bet Sarah would like that too. And took a listen and was just so moved by your episode, just your chat with him and how honest he was. And you really got into the weeds, and I was like, wow, this is not what I was expecting. Not that I thought it was going to be like a shitty podcast or something, but I was just very, very moved. So I went back to the beginning and just started listening to the start of the podcast and listening on my way to work, and started snowballing from there. I found the flotation center in one of your first episodes, I think. And that, I think, has really impacted my life.
You're an ambassador for them now, right?
Yeah. So I get to float there every month, and I share my experiences and write some blog entries and take my friends with me, try to get people to check it out. Yeah. And I have heard of some people since, like friends of my mom, who anytime they come to town, they'll go to the flotation center. And so it's cool to see that domino effect happen. And that I found really kind of opened me up to just stepping outside of my comfort zone. And
so how did the painting come back in? Because that's what kind of your first thing that you started to put out to the world recently.
Yeah, so I did the Artist's Way when the Curiosity Club first offered it. I was kind of going back and forth about doing it, and then I think I stopped into the gallery one day and was just talking with Kristen, and I just had this feeling like I have to do this. I have to see what it's all about. And through doing that process, 12-week period of kind of diving into your creativity and kind of remembering who I was as a kid. And that was when my poetry started coming out again. I hadn't really written poetry since maybe high school in an English class or something, and just started playing around with it and kind of found it silly, but still was having fun with it. And then remembered that was something I did as a really young kid. Like when I first started learning how to write, I had these little scribblers, and they were like the half...
like the Hilroy?
Yeah, exactly. With like, you could write on the bottom half of the page and the top half was just blank. So I would write these like bedtime nursery rhyme poem type things, and I would draw little pictures to go with them. So I think my mom found those, I don't know, several years ago now, but that kind of popped back in my head. I thought, oh, that's interesting that I'm kind of drawn to that again. So I decided to try illustrative poetry and just kind of play with that and see where it went, and shared a lot of that with the first group through the Artist's Way, and people seemed to like it. So I just kept experimenting, and then I started showing up at open mic.
You came and as a spectator before you performed, right? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I can't remember how many I think I went to 3 maybe before I brought my drum.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them, I think I brought my drum and I left it in the car and I came in and I just watched. And then the next time I told myself, okay, I'm going to bring my drum. I'm going to bring it in.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to see if people notice that I have a drum with me. Because like it's pretty, you can hide it. It's black. You can tuck it around my, it looks like a little circular
statement.
Bag.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe halfway through, Mike, you said, okay, does anybody else want to get up and sing? And I just thought, okay, this is my sign. Like, this is why I'm here. I told myself if someone was going to ask, and no, it wasn't specifically toward me because I know you weren't expecting that, but I just thought, okay, there was a slight pause and I just threw my hand up. And then,
Were you nervous?
I was, very nervous.
Yeah.
Pretty terrified. But I've always loved to sing and perform. And I grew up dancing, so performing a lot. And I remember at a young age just kind of distinguishing between like the nervousness before performing and then actually being in it, and always enjoying actually performing. So I just kept telling myself, it's just going to be fine. It'll be like that.
Yeah.
And I was terrified, but once I was up there, it was really fun.
Well, you're an amazing singer.
Thank you.
Amazing singer, and have grown so much. And I think it's actually really important for people to feel that was your first experience and how you felt, and that it's just this second of bravery. Like, oh shit, my hand's up. I guess I'm doing this thing now.
I kind of surprised myself.
Yeah. It was just kind of week after week, and you challenged yourself, and you'd learn new songs or an original song, brought your daughter eventually. Like there was a lot of evolution that happened for you, and the story of kind of coming a few times and being cautious, I think, is probably a familiar, or that other people would certainly feel that way too. And even in the artist way, because I'd like to ask you about the Up and Down Sky, which anyone who did the program with us immediately will know this story. But I think the benefit of showing up for something week after week, the artist way is 12 weeks, open mic has been a few years, but it's okay to sort of take your time and get comfortable and then have your moment of bravery, and how life-changing that could be. Like, I really felt like you did things in your own time, yes, but you still like had continuous growth and moments where you were pushing yourself to that next level. And that just feels like a safe but encouraging way to allow your creativity to unfold.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if that resonates with you, but tell us about the Up and Down Sky.
Sure. So that was early on in the artist way. There was, I don't even remember what the prompt would have been, but I remember Steph McNamara was just asking, can you remember a time when someone would have kind of stifled your creativity, or negatively impacted your idea of being creative somehow? And I thought about it for a bit. I think I wrote about it, just trying to remember. And then it hit me when I was about 4. I was in preschool, and we were coloring, as kids do. And I was coloring the sky, and I was coloring it up and down, I guess, not across the page, side to side. Just, coloring away. And my teacher came up behind me and said, Bridget, the sky doesn't grow up and down. It grows across like this. And I remember she took my hand and showed me, like, don't color it this way, color it that way. And I remember thinking, like, how do you know? Like, it's the sky. But, she's the teacher, so she must know.
Yeah.
And from then on, like, I drew a lot of skies. I drew a lot. It was always like the green grass, the flowers. I drew that a lot as a kid. And from then on, it was across. And then I told that story, and Steph said, oh my gosh, Bridget, you have to draw an up and down sky. And I just happened to have this sketch I had done, I don't know, a couple weeks beforehand. I had taken a first aid course for work. And we had this paper in front of us on our desks that we could use to take notes and everything. And I was, instead of taking notes, doodling while I was listening, I swear. I got the certification. First aid.
I'll just like get this later. Yeah.
So I'm there drawing flowers and a sun and brought it home, and I was just, put it aside, like no thought given to that. And when Steph said you should draw an up and down sky, I thought, oh my gosh, I actually have something I could color to make an up and down sky right now. And I saw it as really therapeutic and something I think would benefit me. So one night I just sat down and I started coloring it, and I think I did all the flowers and everything first, and then I just started coloring the sky. And I think I even took a little video of it at one point because I was like, I need to show Steph like the actual act of doing this. It was so cathartic.
Yes.
And then, I just shared at the next little meeting we had for the Artist's Way. And I didn't really realize how impactful it would be until I shared it.
Yeah.
And now like people keep bringing it up to me all the time. So it's really cool that just sharing like that can impact others so profoundly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, putting ourselves in a set of parameters of rules can really limit what we're able to do. And the thing with art is that there are no rules. Like there are maybe best practices at times, but there's nothing set in stone that says a sky has to be sideways. And that sucks that someone at that age, when we're so, I know we listen to what everyone else says, and we're just so dependent on learning from other people. When that's ingrained in your head, like you're gonna take that to heart, and like, okay, well, sky has to be this way. And with art, I just feel like whatever makes sense for you is what works. When we were at the artist residency in Colombia, I may have talked about this before, but we were doing the drawing, what did you call it? When we all sat around.
Like figure drawing?
Figure drawing, yeah. And I remember like person will go up and model, and we draw them, and there's someone leading the class, like, okay, we're switching in a minute, we're gonna go to a different pose or whatever. And so the first time I tried it, I can't draw for shit, and I'm trying to draw it like realistic, like, and I have no idea how. And like I remember drawing one of the girls there. I started laughing out loud. It was so bad.
At your drawing.
At my drawing, yeah. No, and I'm like, why am I trying to follow these parameters of what, I don't know, a lot of people think is a good drawing? Like I'm trying to create something that someone who's an amazing artist, a realist
artist, yeah.
And I'm like, I can't do that. So why don't I just do whatever makes sense for me? So I started drawing these weird figures, and it didn't look anything like them. It looked like aliens and had extra limbs. And I'm like, at least it looks kind of neat anyway. And then afterwards, everyone loved these drawings. Like, they're so unique. And I'm like, and I didn't think they were great myself, but all these young artists who were there were like describing the virtues, like from their art school degrees of what I was doing. Like, I'm just drawing what feels good, you know? And
they were everyone's favorite sketches.
Yeah.
And I wonder, because I don't want to put words in your mouth, but sometimes being a beginner at something and just not really knowing like what you're doing can be so liberating. Like you had that moment of, I don't really know how to do what you guys are doing, so I'm just going to do this over here. And it ended up being the best in the whole class because there was still shape to it. You could still tell who the person was posing, but it was kind of using these thick lines and there wasn't definition. Like you weren't drawing hair, you were drawing maybe a circle and that was the hair. But there was still recognition in it.
I think it's just not just doing what makes sense to you, like what feels right to you, and not following the rules that you think may exist out there. And I think that's true for any creative act. Like if I pick up a guitar and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to try to play jazz right now. I don't know how to play jazz, so it's going to be shitty. But if I just play what makes sense to me and stick within those parameters and try to learn more and grow and not not go so far outside of what makes sense to me. Like, it's gonna come across as at least unique to me, and hopefully other people can relate to that. But at the end of the day, when you create like that, you're going to be happy with it because, this is what came out of me. I'm not listening to what anyone else says. And maybe there's influences in there from other people and what you learned along the way, but it's uniquely you.
I had this experience just yesterday. I've been working on writing my own meditations.
I saw
and
that.
So I wrote 3. One of them I would say was more what you might expect from a traditional, like I'm going on YouTube and finding a 15-minute meditation.
Yeah.
The other 2 are nothing like I have ever heard before. And it wasn't intentional. It just felt like, well, this is what I would have to say about this thing. And
clap your hands now, everybody.
kind of, though. Like there's swearing in one of them.
I love that. Yeah.
And one of them is more like a letter, but it's written from the point of view of compassion.
Oh, wow.
So I am compassion writing to you.
Wow.
And this is how I would imagine compassion personified would speak to you. And I've never heard a meditation that does that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but rather than try to be somebody else, I don't really know what it feels like to write a traditional meditation because I'm brand new at it. So why not just allow this unfolding of my own thing to happen from day one?
I love that.
And it's been very and that feels exciting to me.
Yeah.
Because when you're trying to draw realist,
trying to fit within parameters,
you're
think
frustrated.
exist.
Yeah. So I don't know. Have you found a sense of freedom or a voice in allowing some of this to unfold for you in your way?
Yeah, definitely. I just want to say about the meditations, I saw you share about those on Facebook, and immediately I was like, that is so cool.
Thank you.
I've never heard of meditations quite like that before, and very interested.
Thank you.
Very cool. Welcome.
Yeah.
In terms of, I find my approach when I do anything creatively is sticking with what I know now anyway. And I think I've gained the confidence to do that through listening to the podcast and kind of just following these breadcrumbs. Since I started a few years ago, even with like songwriting, where I played around with songwriting a little bit as like a teenager and nothing I ever would have taken seriously. And then just thought, okay, well, now I'm writing poetry. Maybe I'll try to write a song because I love singing and trying to merge all of my creative interests.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, well, I have no idea how to write a song. Like, how can I do this? I've never learned. But then I thought, well, I'll just write it like I write poetry, which kind of changes from time to time, and just see where it goes. And I've since written another full song, lots of bits and pieces of other things, but the second song I wrote ended up being completely different than the first song, like in how I created it. And I found a lot of liberation in that because I just kept telling myself, well, there must be like a certain process, a certain formula you got to follow, but there isn't.
Surprise.
That's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing about every creative act, that there again are guidelines. Like you're writing a song and you look up what is the standard structure for a song, like verse, chorus, bridge, double chorus, outro kind of thing. But you can, if you listen to whatever 50 songs right now, a number of them will have a structure like that, but there'll be some that completely go against that. And your favorite ones may be some of them. And like I've heard songs without choruses, and some of them are my favorite songs. Like and when I'm writing a song, I always, in the back of my head, I'm thinking I have to have a chorus, obviously. Like the chorus is the most important part of the song. But I'm like, oh yeah, that song I like does not have a chorus. But there's a hook in there that keeps bringing you back and and you can do whatever you want. Like it doesn't mean it's always going to be good. Like, just because you're following your instincts. Like, I don't need a chorus here. You might play that song for 100 people, and they'd be like, get a fucking chorus in there. Jesus. What? I don't remember it. Like,
you can write a song with no chorus in it, just not that one.
Yeah. Like, I guess it's like, what is going to bring people back to it, like in terms of just songwriting, I guess I'm referencing here, and maybe art in general, but a painting, I guess, too. Like, why is someone going to look at that and be in awe every time? Does it have to have a certain color? Does it have to, like, when you're creating something, Kristen, what are you thinking about that will draw people in? Are you thinking about that at all? Or are you just going from your gut?
It might sound a little self-serving, but I'm thinking about myself.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about what feels right to me, because I now know that art is so subjective that I can't possibly create something that everyone likes. And it's funny, having a background in politics, this is actually the weird through line I have discovered. As a kid, I remember my mom, because my grandfather was a politician, and I would struggle with people who were mean to him, right? Because they didn't agree with the decisions he or the party were making. And her explaining to me at a young age that this is a world in which, like the political world, that it's just not, you can't make everybody happy. It just doesn't exist. It doesn't work that way. And kind of gently trying to, make that make sense to a kid who was worried about her grandfather. But the same can be said for art. And I think understanding that from such a young age has given me a lot of freedom in my creativity, because I don't worry as much about how it's received. I mean, we've talked a lot about it having more pressure when it's income and all of that kind of thing. But as far as the creation process, it's just kind of, allowing the intuition to take over.
And you have to like it in the end. Like, I mean, I know there's creative people out there who are really good at creating something and other people appreciate it, but they don't love what they're doing.
Yeah, sure.
But that can create a pretty miserable life for you.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm curious the role that art plays just in your well-being or in your life, because you're working a full-time job, yes, but you're working in the military, which one might argue is kind of, I don't know, it's just a different world than what you might imagine a creative life to feel like. So how do they balance each other? Or what role does that play for you?
That's such a great question. It's something I've thought about a lot over the last couple of years, because they are so different, I find. And I was talking with a coworker recently. Actually, it was several months ago now, but I was telling him about your podcast. And he said, it would be really cool. You'd be a great guest. And I said, oh, really? I don't know.
The writing was on the wall.
You got to share this with him.
I will. Yeah, I told him I was doing it. I had to. Because he said, the duality in your life is so interesting.
Yeah.
And he's a creative person too, but that got me thinking a lot about, just the difference of just how structured everything is at work. And I mean, the military has changed a lot too in the last 15 years that I've been in, but I definitely, I had put art down for a while when I was really bogged down with work and just having a really hard time mentally. Got diagnosed with PTSD from some of my time in the military. So that really put a damper on my creative life. But I found once I did start paying attention to it again, it's only helped, obviously, everything. And now it's all about like trying to find that work-life balance, so to speak. Because I work 9 to 4 for the most part, 8 to 4. Monday to Friday, and then I'm lucky to have weekends off at the position I'm in right now. It's not always the case, but I've got a very stable position where I am, and just kind of go back and forth between going to work, trying to do the standardized things, follow orders, all of that stuff, and then go home and try to be creative.
Do you feel like you look forward to getting to be creative?
I do, yeah. Sometimes I'm too exhausted, which is the hard part for sure. just coming home after a long day. And I know that being creative would help, but I'm just so tired that I don't.
Yeah, of course.
But then I find when I do, I make myself do it, then it's better. And I always make time to write. So I do that usually in the evenings now. I know we used to call them morning pages.
It's kind of like morning sickness. It's like whenever it happens.
Yeah, whenever, exactly. Yeah, I do that a lot. And then ever since kind of paying more attention to this duality, I've actually found quite a few through lines through all of that, like with my emailing and everything. And just kind of thinking of more things that I do in the workplace creatively, I find just helps keep me in that creative headspace. So I'll create a flow chart or something, an Excel doc to track what we're doing at work. And it's very specific. And, I'm doing a lot of research, a lot of work. But then I get to kind of display it with pretty colors and organize my thoughts that way. And I really enjoy bringing those aspects into the workplace. Some other people like those kind of charts and stuff too, but I've had a lot of people tell me like, oh, I could never make something like that, but you've helped our section so much in bringing this forward. So,
and probably brings a lot of clarity to some of the issues you're talking about, because people they learn differently, as we know.
Exactly.
So some of that visual flavor.
Yeah, and I'm a very visual learner, so I think like I create it for. Speaking of like creating for ourselves, I do create for myself selfishly most of the time. But I do find that when you do that, there are always people that can relate and benefit from what you do create.
Where do you envision your art and creativity going? And they could be two separate things. Like, I guess art, maybe what you put out there, and creativity is the growth of you as a creative person in that sense. How do you envision things in the future? Do you want to be doing it more? Do you want to lean into that side of things more? Do you want to record an album? Like where do you see things going?
If only she could find
So
a
many
studio.
Yeah, honestly, my dream would be to be able to make a living only doing the creative stuff I wanna do. I do enjoy working where I work. I love my coworkers and everything, which I'm very fortunate to have that. But
will you get to? I know the military often. You can retire pretty young at times. Are you in a position to be able to do that?
I think, younger than I would otherwise, for sure. The first, 7 or 8 years of my career, I was part-time. So I am a reservist. I'm part of the primary reserve in the military. So I do have the good fortune of not having to be moved around, and I work contracts. So once you're fully trained as a reservist, you can find full-time work. So that's what I've been doing. I've since had this full-time position for almost 8 years now. So that counts as full-time, so a full 8 years. And then the time that I spent working for the military before that, those 7 or 8 years, there's some sort of calculation they do to see how many extra years, I guess, I've been in. So the goal, I guess, is to get to your 25 years.
25,
So that's right now. That's my goal. I think I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing and trying to do this work-life balance thing. But I definitely see doing more and more creative work in my future. Hard to balance it all for sure. But record an album. I would absolutely love to do that. At least a song for sure. So we'll be in touch about that. But right now I've just been spending a lot of my creative time writing and doing my illustrative poetry. Took a bit of a break in the summer when I got injured, unfortunately. So that was definitely a speed bump. Put a damper on things for sure. But my goal right now is to create enough of my illustrated poetry to put it together into a book. Had a few people recommend it or ask me if it's something I'm doing.
Great
and
idea.
it has been on my mind. So it's definitely.
Do you typically
up there.
write the poem first and then illustrate it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're, just so people understand, and we can probably dig up some images here, but it's so visually you're seeing the image with the poetry, the words written over an illustration. Yeah, just because not everybody looks at the podcast, they're listening.
Fair. Yeah, that's usually me.
Yeah. And so it's just, I think it's a more maybe interesting way to think about it as a package, and I can totally see how that would make for a great book.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it come to fruition. Sometimes when I'm writing poetry too, well, I always write the poem just like in my journal, but then once I start on sketch paper or whatever I'm using, sometimes I have an idea of what the image may be because I've already written the poem and I have ideas, but sometimes I have no clue and I just start writing the poem out. And I usually, if I have no clue, I just kind of arrange the words in a way that it looks nice to me, and then I go from there. But if I have an idea of what the image is going to be, sometimes I strategically lay the words out so I can kind of fit them into the vision I've got going on. Yeah, it's always interesting to see how different it is every time.
What is your relationship, to the audience? So do they see everything you make? Does it matter what they think? Like, tell me about that part of your process.
Yeah, it's definitely like a secondary thought I have. Like, I might wonder how the audience might interpret something, but it's very much like me processing my thoughts when I'm writing a poem. Sometimes it might be prompted and not as personal, but a lot of the time it's coming from a pretty personal place. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think, there's a lot of stuff I've written that I don't think anyone will ever see. And I love that. I think it's important to keep some stuff to yourself. But yeah, I'm always kind of looking through what I've written and thinking, oh, that might be nice to kind of put out to the world and make into something more. And I really love the idea of like recycling your own work in a way, I guess. So creating something and then seeing what you can create from that and kind of seeing where things go. So I love to do that too with songwriting, like take a poem I've written. And actually, I think I did that with my second song. It was a poem I wrote first and thought, okay, maybe I'll put a tune to this. But yeah, just see where each thing will take me.
I like that idea of pushing things too. I do that with my furniture. Like that starts with the painting and then it's photographed and then it becomes a piece of furniture that then has a story about it.
I love that.
Because you never know, like on that journey, at what point that's the thing or like that's the magic.
Yeah.
And maybe an idea isn't quite finished yet. So you just keep going with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Tell me about the role that your kids play in your creativity or vice versa. I'm sure you're informing some of what they're working on too.
Yeah, for sure. It was really cool to see how they responded to, first of all, when I was doing the artist's way and kind of diving back into my creativity and writing these poems and illustrating them. They had seen me do creative things here and there over the years, but seeing them see me putting more intention into it and just showing up for it more, I've definitely seen it influence them in certain ways. Just like with creating things at home, like sometimes there was one, I think it was around Christmas, we brought out a bunch of modeling clay and we made a bunch of sculptures and then started painting them. We were all in on it, Sarah and the girls and I, and we kind of like fixate on little creative projects here and there. There was one year I let the girls paint our big picture window because my mom used to do that with my sisters and I when I was really young. And I remember just like that was the coolest thing ever, getting to paint with acrylic paint on the window.
On the window.
On the window.
Okay.
How fun.
Yeah.
So does it stay there permanently? Or?
No. And props to my mom. I I didn't know how much of a mess that is. And yeah, you really have to like reel things in. And I don't think Sarah was too pleased with the mess, but it was beautiful. We made like a stained glass window we put tape all across it and painted each section a different color. Show you a picture later.
That sounds cool.
Fun. Yeah, we've never done it again since.
So how do you get it off?
A lot of elbow grease.
There you go.
I hope the elbow grease conversation made it in. That's a good full circle moment, you clever thing, you.
It was just right there. Yeah, so and then the biggest thing I would say is Taylor specifically with open mic and singing. Yeah. So the girls saw me going to open mic for, I don't know, a year or two maybe.
Couple of years, I think.
And it was kind of like my thing, and it was my time. Wednesday nights Wednesday nights.
Tuesday 1.2.
Tuesday, that's why I questioned it. But yeah, then Taylor started talking about wanting to maybe come sometime, and at first I was thinking like, oh, that's so cool, she wants to come and see it. And then I realized like, oh, she's thinking about performing. That's really cool. She's 12 years old. So she came with me out to Shining Waters one night, and it took a while to warm up to the idea of actually getting up there, understandably. And I'm there trying not to put too much pressure on her, and like told you she wanted to, but also I don't know if she's gonna. And then yeah, sure enough, she got up and just blew us away, and just kept coming back. And Jordan's expressed some interest too. They both came to the last one.
Does she sing too?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Did
you and your sister sang together? I wasn't able to be there that week, but I was a little devastated. But was that something you did growing up?
Yeah.
Did you sing together? Yeah.
You guys were awesome.
So thank you. We grew up singing a lot in the house. The whole family, like my parents. I guess they used to sing at weddings and stuff before I was born.
Your parents together?
Together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't know that for a while when I was younger. Like, they'd sing to us all the time at home. And then one day Mom played me a cassette tape. Who do you think this is? I'm listening and I'm like, I don't remember their names now, but I thought it was these two people on like Treehouse TV, Judy and someone else. They had this show where they had this giant boom box and they would come out and sing and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, it's Judy and that guy. And Mom's like, no. And then I found out it was her and Dad, and was just blown away by that.
So they're both musical.
Both very musical. And
artistic. Like I've seen your mom's cupcakes. Oh my gosh. She's shown up with. Like she's got the eye.
Artistic. Yeah. Yes.
Amazing. Yeah. And they're so supportive.
Oh my gosh.
Like your whole family is just, I love all of you.
Yeah. They're pretty cool. I'm very, very lucky.
Yeah.
We used to go camping as when I was little, and Dad would bring his guitar and we'd sing around the campfire, and sometimes other families would come join in. Just this is cool. This is fun. And we'd sing like Christmas carols while driving around, looking at Christmas lights and stuff. Like
you guys are a Hallmark
like
movie.
A Hallmark Christmas movie, exactly. But
meanwhile, my mom's blowing pipe tobacco in my ear. It's all good though. It's perfect.
All good.
Two very normal upbringings.
It's all fine.
Kristen's sick. Get the tobacco out.
We need to test this theory.
Oh Jesus. Anyways, I'm sorry.
But my sisters and I, we used to. It was mainly Catherine. She's a couple of years younger than me. When we were in high school, I guess junior high school, we started playing together. She played guitar. I tried learning guitar very briefly in like grade 8 and didn't keep it up. But she really enjoyed it, and it was great. She would be our accompaniment, and we'd sing together, and we had a little YouTube channel.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, we used to share. We used to share.
Does it still
songs.
exist?
I don't know, honestly.
Let's get that link up on the show notes.
We called ourselves Winter Blossom.
Yeah, you did.
Because we started in the winter. We wanted to sing
to see this
for our parents. I think we used to like try to make them a Christmas gift every year. And yeah, one year we're trying to write this song. Fiona got in on that one, actually. She was still really little, but
you guys were the original TLC. Winter Blossom.
Winter Blossom. Yeah. So, and then Catherine moved out to Vancouver. Fiona's in Ottawa a lot of the time. So we don't sing a whole lot together, but yeah, I got Fiona to come out to Togetherland that night. We got to sing. And that was the first time the two of us, just Fiona and I, got to sing together in front of anyone. So that was fun. Yeah.
What's the story behind your drum? We're calling it a drum, but there's more to it than that.
Yeah. So when I was about 14, I had a teacher at Prince Arthur Junior High School, Gilles Boudreau, and he would bring his boron drum to school and play around with it at lunch, and I was just mesmerized. It's such a cool instrument. And he told me it was called the Bridget drum, like specifically his model was the Bridget. So then I'm like, okay, well, I need this drum.
Yeah.
Is that what it's really called? Or is he...
I should ask him, actually. I wonder. So I put it on my Christmas list and asked for a boron drum, specifically the Bridget, if possible.
Of course, the Bridget model.
And my parents said, well, that's pretty pricey, but they got me my drum, my boron drum, straight from Ireland, and gave it to me for Christmas, and I was just over the moon and started messing around with it. I think it came with a little DVD of teaching the beginner techniques. I watched it a little bit, but very much was just like, I'm gonna teach myself how to do this. Played with it for, I don't know, not very long, and put it down. And then when I was probably 19 or 20, between years in university, needed extra cash in the summer and decided I'd take my boron drum down to the Halifax waterfront, do some busking. So I wasn't consistent with it at all, but I did really well when I did it.
Yeah.
So that was my first taste
So
of
you just play the drum and sang?
Yeah, and a lot of the same songs actually that I've played at Togetherland. They were songs I learned.
How much would you make in a day?
I was making a little over $200 for a few hours.
Well, that's
great.
It was
decent job.
Looking back, I'm like, why didn't I do it regularly? It was every once in a while. Oh, I feel like going busking, and I'd go. And I found a spot kind of down near the cruise ships. Yeah, and not strategically at all. I was just trying to find a place where other people weren't playing. I didn't want to impose on anyone, and then tourists would come off the ships, and there I am with my drum singing these little Celtic folk tunes. And I guess it worked pretty well down there. And then I remember I spent some time in PEI that same summer, and did some busking down in Charlottetown as well, which went over all right. And I remember a man came up to me, just started speaking Gaelic, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I don't speak Gaelic. He said, but you just sang a Gaelic song and it was so good. Your pronunciation was so good. I was in a Gaelic choir for a couple of years at St. FX, and we learned the pronunciation very well, but I did not know most of what I was singing, so that was fun.
Is there tradition? Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say I just put it down after that. Just got busy with school and life and really didn't take it out a whole lot, and then started coming to open mic and thought I should break out that drum and remember those folk tunes and keep playing.
And even get some requests from time to time to learn songs.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Then I have a project to work on.
Yeah.
Covered one of my songs. That was so cool.
And then ended up performing one of your or two or three. How many songs were you? So the last
couple songs.
Yeah. With the Town Heroes.
I can't believe I forgot to put that on my list of all the things that's happened in my life. Some of the biggest things, performing with the Town Heroes. And I think I forgot, saying Taylor came with me to open mic. That was another thing. But
yeah, it's
that was special. Everyone, when we did Cape Breton Night, I think that was a lot of people's favorite song of the whole night.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I think I ugly cried that whole time. Yeah,
it
was beautiful.
It was very surreal to sing with you guys. yeah, even just the sound check showing up and no one was there except you and Candace. And yeah, just very cool to have a literal dream realized, just experiencing it right there. Very cool.
It was pretty awesome. We were honored to have you up there and just added so much to it. And you have a great sense of singing with someone. Like it's obvious that you did a lot of that because, like generally a person holds a note for the same-ish amount of time every time. But to be a good harmony singer, you just have to be so focused in on what the other person's doing. You have to be able to adapt just in a second. Like, okay, did I hold it longer than usual, a little shorter? And you were able to just match me perfectly. And I find a lot of people sing harmonies will either go too long or too short because they're not paying attention to the other person. And that's the 100% focus of singing harmonies is you were there to
support.
Support the main melody line, and whatever they do, you're adapting to that. And you were so good at it.
Well, thank you so much. It definitely is a skill to learn. I remember being younger and wanting to know how to harmonize, and I didn't know how.
Yeah.
But we'd be in church, and mom and dad both love to harmonize.
Yeah.
They're harmonizing. I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
And just singing with Catherine a lot, and just eventually it just clicks, I guess.
Yeah. We've had that conversation before with other people. Like, what is?
It's a weird.
How do you learn to
concept,
sing harmonies? And I just say, hey, you just got to keep trying, and it does click, and then it becomes the easiest thing in the world. Really.
Yeah, that does seem to be consistent. That it's hard to teach, but once you get it, you get it. I mean, there's other things in life, I suppose that's the case, but I'll just take your word for it.
Knowing how notes work together.
I can't even sing the lead, so we'll just,
Like if you know the notes within a chord, you can figure out scales and how they go along with each other, and sing this scale and then sing a harmony that's above it or below it, and then your brain just gets into that zone and like, okay, I can sing 3 harmonies right away without even thinking of the song now. So,
What advice might you give to someone who wants to pursue a dream? Because you've just referenced this moment as this is a literal dream come true. Was there something that you feel you could articulate that could help somebody sort of find their way if they were in your shoes?
Great question. I would say just kind of focusing on like the next thing. Like it's awesome to have goals and dreams, obviously, but like even in having a dream of like performing with the Town Heroes or like on any sort of stage like that, like I didn't even necessarily believe I would get there, to be honest. Like I was just like, if I keep singing and just doing what feels right in the moment, that maybe I'll get somewhere. And I just kind of put the theory to the test, I guess. And I know like you've spoken a lot about following the breadcrumbs with guests here and there, and that's 100% what I've done. Like just I feel like writing a poem today. Okay, I'm gonna do that, and then maybe I can take that a little further and just doodle around it or whatever. Like I think taking the pressure off of like having to get there really helps. And like before you know it, you realize you've come farther than you even thought you could. I've definitely seen that happen with most of the creative things I've been doing. And I struggle sometimes too with like not knowing what to focus on because I have so many interests. And I know like Tom Ryan has given the advice of like, you just have to pick what you're most excited about right now and just do it and like stick to it and you'll get it done. So I have tried to do that, but it's still difficult for me. I think, wait, maybe I really enjoy singing and I really enjoy like just tinkering around with songwriting, but like should I be spending my energy writing this poem or like continuing these illustrations because I have this idea of making this book. And it's just kind of hard to juggle all of those interests. But little by little, like no matter what you're doing, it is progressing what you're working on. So
it's great advice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just focus on the next thing.
Yeah, try not to put too much pressure on yourself. And I'm a very slow person in general. Very, very late a lot of the time, as you know. But I do really, that's kind of my whole philosophy is just taking it as it comes and just going with the flow. And I think it can take you some pretty cool places.
We'll keep doing exactly what you're doing. I'm excited to see where it takes you and how our paths will cross and intertwine along the way. And so excited that you're a part of our journey and we can be part of yours. And
so excited to
where it goes, we'll see. And it's all exciting though.
I know we haven't pointedly asked you about making it. And it's something we certainly have time and space for you to answer. But I feel like you have kind of revealed this slowly throughout this interview, which I find really beautiful, that it's kind of just embodied within how you see the world rather than it being separate. So certainly if there's anything that you would like to add, I invite you to do that, but also just want to acknowledge that feels very organic for you to just be in that anyways.
I love that explanation. That's really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I know my idea of making it has changed over the years, but I find being grateful for where you are really just that is what making it is to me, like acknowledging what is going well for you and like it's okay, that's where you are right now, and maybe that will change in a year or two or however many. Just make it up as you go, making it up.
Thank you for being here with us, not just today, but the last few years of our lives, being a cheerleader and an advocate and a supporter. You are someone who has listened to the show and rated and reviewed and shared and screamed from the rooftops and wrote this email that it actually, this is kind of funny, but reminded me of the Jerry Maguire moment when he writes this thing. And is it Renee Zellweger? That's and he's like, who's going with me? And she's so moved by this piece of writing. Like, it had that kind of impact on us to take us back to our why, take us back to the roots as to why we started this work in the first place. It was healing for us. It had just so much power that I was reminded as just a human being and an artist, and there are recipients of our work and our thoughts and our love, that it really truly can be life-changing. And you did that for us. It's like a really profound thing. And so thank you for that gift and just who you are and how you show up in the world. You're a beautiful friend and artist, and we're just so lucky to know you.
You're so sweet. She's going to make me cry before the end.
That's the goal.
End scene.
Well, I'm honored to be here, and thank you so much for inviting me. It's another dream come true, so thank you. I'll mention this. I told Steph we had a creative session sometime early this year, I think the last round of the Artist's Way. And we talked about me eventually being a guest here. Here.
Manifestation works. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, folks, and thanks to you, Bridget, for being an awesome person and putting that out to the world. Cheers, buds.
See you next week. Make It with Mike and Kristen is recorded and produced by Michael S. Ryan at Hot Jupiter Sounds.
Intro and outro music by me as well.
Cover art by Emily Rankin at Take Note Graphic Design, and photography by Candace Moore.
If you cool cats want to help us out, the best way to spread the word is by telling a friend about us. Tell your mom, tell all your buds. Word of mouth is still the best way to reach people. It's free for you and helps us immensely. And if you're into it, you can like and subscribe and all that stuff too.
Another way to support us is through our Patreon. We have a number of super fun tiers and perks like bonus content, handwritten postcards, creative coaching, and so much more. Find us at patreon.com/mikeandkristen.
For the makers, the dreamers, and the figuring it outers, have fun trying to make it out there, friends.